Well, good evening, my star family. I am Rebecca, and this is my full moon video for Pillars of the Moon. Thank you so much for joining me. Yeah, I'm recording this video on Thursday evening. So, yeah, really excited to share some musings around this full moon that I'm feeling. It feels really nice actually to be doing this in the evening. Um, both my little ones are in bed, so yeah, may they continue to sleep so I can journey through the stars with you all. So yes, let's jump into the live sky, shall we, and have a look at where the full moon will be. So I'm going to go onto Stellarium Web online. So we're sharing the screen now, so this should be coming up for you now. So the full moon will be on the 6th of January 2023 or in 2023 now. Yeah, so I won't say Happy New Year just because I don't really connect so much with the Gregorian calendar. I mean, I know we have to because that's kind of the structures and the templates that we're in at the moment, but yeah, I really feel like my new year, as a very committed druid and pagan, is more connected to the Samhain portal, which was in October. Um, so yeah, that's when we celebrate our new year. That's when life is conceived. The seeds go into the womb and then they go into their incubation time of the winter. So we are in the middle of that incubation time now, in the middle of the winter, and we will be reborn again into the light of a new day in the spring equinox in March. So with the pillars of the moon work that I've been doing now for the last 3.5 years, I've been really connecting with the energy of this inner journey, that starts at Samhain, and the descending energy of the serpent, of Fucus, and how it takes us into the womb of the winter, where we are right now in the northern hemisphere. And yeah, and then there's this whole rebirth in the spring where life is born on the external, but actually life has already been living. A baby inside a womb is living, until it's born and into the physical, out into this world, but it's still very much alive. So the winter journey that we're in now, the life is inside of us, and it's not necessarily being seen out in the world, but it's really like this time of coming within and really nurturing this inner space, this inner temple, and all of the dreams and the visions and the ideas and all these little seeds that are growing and bubbling up inside of us, because at spring equinox they will, burst out into the sun of the spring. So coming back to this full moon that we're in, so in the live sky, which you can see right here, this is Stellarium Web. This is the sky as it is, live. So this, I fast forwarded the date here to the 6th, which is Friday, and the time of the full moon will be 23:07, so that's tomorrow night. So hopefully we have a nice clear night, because we'll probably be able to see Mars as well. You can see Mars here is over in Taurus. He's still retrograding in Taurus. So when we're looking out at the full moon, we'll probably see like a reddish star next to the full moon. That's Mars. And also the full moon is aligned to Sirius. So you can see down here, Sirius is really closely aligned to this full moon. So the Sirian energy will be very strong around this full moon. And yeah, I mean, lots of people have different ideas around Sirius and what Sirius is, what it represents, so it's really if you're curious, you know, it's good to do your own research into that, or your own meditation into that, and really tune into the Syrian energies. You know, you might hear a lot of people these days saying, I'm from Sirius, or I'm Syrian, or, you know, it's kind of, people feel like it's a stargate or a portal. And also some people connect Sirius to Isis, Egyptian goddess Isis. So it's really a powerful star nevertheless, you know, and whatever your beliefs around this star are. And of course, the full moon is aligned to it. So the full moon is really activating this star tomorrow night. Or even tonight, you know, it's, the energy is strong. And it's the rainbow star, you know, sometimes in the evening, if you look up at Sirius, it flickers like a rainbow. And I've actually looked at it through I've got binoculars, not an actual telescope yet. And you can see it's like a rainbow party going on Sirius. So it's the rainbow star. That's what I call it anyway. And you know, there's that song that goes, somewhere over the rainbow, way up high. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high. It's serious. There's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. So I think that song might be about Sirius. Maybe. Who knows? You know, this is the thing, when I do a video in the evening, it gets a bit kind of like funny. So I'm quite tired, I guess. It's been a big day. But yeah, I really, really wanted to go into the sky with you and just share some of these things that are musing with me. So let's go back to Gemini, the twin. So you can see here at the time of the full moon that the moon is right in the middle of the constellation Gemini. So in Western astrology, is it in Cancer? I'm not sure, but you can see in the live sky, clearly Gemini, boom, there you go. So who's Gemini, you know? So Pollux and Castor are the twins, the Gemini twins, and there's lots of mythology around them as well. And one is immortal and one is not, and I can't remember which way around it is in the mythology. I'm sure some of you know around that, but I was tuning into these two, and oh my gosh, so much was coming in, right? Because at the time of the full moon, Mercury, who's just gone into retrograde, is with the sun. So it's opposing the full moon. Mercury is opposite the full moon. So, and he's in retrograde in Sagittarius. So I was tuning into these two fellas and the twins. You know, why are they called the twins? What does that mean? You know, and obviously all the mythologies has its own different tales, right? But like my feeling around this could, well, there's so many ways that we could explore this, you know, and find what this means to us. But Mercury, you know, is connected to our mind, communication, networking, ideas, like lots of variations in ideas can be quite kind of technical, computering, like sharing of wisdom and information and views. But Mercury is the messenger of the gods. So, and him opposing this full moon in retrograde, who's, you know, it feels quite important part of it, you know. And so Mercury retrograding through Sagittarius, it's like reviewing and reflecting upon our ideas and our beliefs and where they come from. Because Sagittarius is very connected to beliefs, be it religious or philosophy or whatever it is, but that what we believe, you know, that's what I really connect with Sagittarius. So Mercury there as well, it's our thoughts and why we think the way we think, why we believe the way we believe things, you know, like, and the patterns and the conditionings of our brain. And so then when I was on that that thought channel, you know, I got into this because I'm actually reading a book at the moment called The Whole-Brained Child, which I got it because I was inspired by my toddler's brain and wanting to learn more about his development, you know, and I'm actually learning loads about the brain through this book, The Whole-Brained Child. And you know, you have the left brain and the right brain, and you could see it as the left hemisphere, the right hemisphere, or the two twins, you know. And it's so interesting, like this twin part of the brain. It's like one is more logical, kind of organized, sensible, can make plans, can make good choices. And then the other one is more intuitive, more creative, more spontaneous, so kind of a bit more instinctual and emotional. And so, you know, my toddler is very much in his emotional brain a lot of the time. And I've recently found out through this book that our logical brain, it develops a lot slower than our emotional brain. You know, when we're children, we're just in that emotional, intuitive, instinctual place of feelings, you know. So this full moon, you know, they could be bringing up a lot to the surface around our thoughts, around our communication, around our voice, or words that have been said to us to create a belief about who we are, what we are, how we feel about ourselves, you know. I will jump into the chart shortly because if I can remember correctly, I think it's a T squared to Chiron, but I'll have to double check. So there is real, it feels like reflection with Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius, you know, reflecting on our beliefs. Why do I believe these certain things about myself, about the world, you know, about the universe? Why do I believe that, you know, and reflecting on that core belief inside of us, you know. And this full moon, the fullness of the cycle, you know, the full moon is that high point, it's the climax of the cycle before we descend back down into the waning time. So this is like the high point. Something in the full moon will come to a full expansion of its expression, you know. So, you know, Mercury retrograde, we often hear of people having issues with technical things and devices and maybe words, and communications can just go, you know, a bit wild, right? So taking that into account with this full moon being opposed, you know, Gemini moon, it's like it's really illuminating something for us around, yeah, our voice, our communication, what we share, how we talk to ourselves even, and the mantras, the inner beliefs, the inner mantras that we are, you know, connecting with. So it's definitely something to be tuning into. I'm not sure how it's all been for all of you, but today I was doing my yoga class, which I teach, and before the class I had a bit of time and I was just singing, and I could really feel, I was doing these mantras and I could really feel my throat opening up, you know. So we could find around this full moon that mantras and song and sound could be really helpful to clear the energy in our throat that might be stagnant or stuck. We may need to share our feelings about some things with some people. We may need to see other points of view. So this is another cool thing about the twin energy, right? There's different ideas about things, different beliefs about things. One person may think this thing, another person may see another way of doing things, you know. So there could be this energy of, you know, potential for conflict in terms of ideas, and also opposing Mercury retrograde and the Sun in Sag. Pluto's also in Sag as well, and it's really could be quite an intense disagreement about what we believe or what's true for us or how we are communicating our words. So I would suggest around this full moon being really aware of our voice and our words, and choosing them wisely, you know, and when we're in communication with others. And perhaps, you know, it could be an opportunity to explore other points of view as well, and other ways of communicating, and two beliefs that are different live in harmony alongside one another. You know, how can we find resolve in this? You know, so there could be an opportunity for resolve, I feel, around this full moon as well. I mean, things might be coming up to the surface around things that need to be communicated or shared or voiced, you know. So just tuning into that in your own chart, you know, and what you might have in these particular houses or constellations that may be really amplifying things for you. Yeah, so I think that was all in the live sky. Just gonna jump over to Sag. Just wanted to show you what I was talking about with, gonna zoom in. The sun is still in Sagittarius, as you can see, and Mercury right here. So Mercury going retrograde now. So these two right in Sagittarius. So, and then Venus obviously is right over, she's on right at the beginning of Capricorn. So yeah, going to jump into the chart now, but that's the live sky, everyone. Isn't it beautiful? Isn't it lovely? And yeah, the moon being in Gemini is aligned to Sirius, as you can see more clearly here. And this white line here is the Milky Way. And it's, you know, I've spoken about before the silver gate of the gods, which is, you know, right in Orion's hand. So this area here, and not the silver gate of reincarnation, excuse me. So yeah, the golden gate of the gods is in Sagittarius, which is on the other side. Can I get it without it flipping? Yeah. Skills. Okay, so there it is. Yeah, so you can see that this whole channel, you know, the Milky Way, the way is a way to get somewhere, right? So, oh, something else. See, things just pop in. I was going to jump off of this, but it always happens, doesn't it, like this? So, yeah, so the Milky Way is a way, it's a channel, right? So the galactic center, which is in Sagittarius, the golden gate of the gods. So I feel like this Milky Way is a way. It's a channel. It's a path. It's a direction that we go as souls. So connecting to our soul, you know, and like I feel like when we're coming into this life, if we're coming through the silver gate of reincarnation, you know, I believe that part of our soul stays with us always, and it's our twin. Our soul is like our twin. Our body is in a physical, you know, this is the earth, and then our soul is the twin. So obviously they're both one, but in this physical reality where we're at, they can be kind of separated. So it feels like that soul essence, which is cosmic and infinite and, you know, connected to the stars, is, you know, this is where you could think of the twins as being like, you know, one is immortal and one is not. So one is our body, which, you know, dies and returns to the earth, and the part of us that's immortal is our soul that goes on forever, you know. So this is, it feels like the silver gate of reincarnation, you know, when our soul comes in and it is pregnant, we come into a body to be born into a mother, you know, there is a time of when we separate from our twin. And some indigenous traditions think of the placenta as our twin, because when we're in the womb, we are with the placenta, and that's our first companion here in this world, in the womb. And so when we are born and our placenta is born, many traditions and myself believe that when we bury the placenta into the earth, Mama Gaia receives the transmission or the blueprint of that soul. And then the placenta, which has served its purpose, is returned to the earth, and that placenta spirit is our soul twin, which is our guardian angel throughout our life. So our placenta or our soul twin is always with us. So when we return, when we pass over that, we return to our twin in the sky. So through the Silver Gate, maybe then we swim along the channel, the Milky Way, to the Golden Gate of the Gods. Just something to muse on. I love musing, this. So yeah, I'll let you tune into that one. Yeah, so I was going to show you the chart, wasn't I? Full moon in Gemini. It always is so bright when I go onto the white screen. I'm like, well, especially at nighttime. So what did I want to talk about? So I've already spoken about Gemini, sorry, Mercury and the Sun in Sag. Mercury is now retrograde and opposing the full moon. And you can see here, this is a lovely little asteroid called Pallas Athena. And so she is symbolic of justice, truth, wisdom, integrity, fairness. She's very smart. She's got an incredible mind. But she's also a visionary and is very in tune with her intuition. So yeah, this full moon opposing, because Mercury is obviously the ruler of Gemini. So it's opposing and in retrograde. So this is why I was sharing about this need to reflect on our mind and our beliefs, because Sagittarius, being very connected to our beliefs. And it's kind of like this energy of Mercury retrograde going back into those beliefs. And I was talking about Chiron. So yeah, you can see there's a red line that's a square to Chiron. And that's making a T square, another square, all the way up to the full moon. So we know that T squares bring lessons. They bring challenges, tension. It's an energy that is quite difficult, it wants us to move through something. So sometimes we have to have a bit of a challenge. It's like an edge that we have to lean into. And Chiron is that edge. And so he is in Pisces. So he's in the watery oceans of Pisces. And I really actually connect the Piscean energy very womb-like, very much like child in the womb, in the waters, so how I was talking about that core beliefs that we have around things and mantras that we have. This could be even like when we was in the womb, because all of the things that our mother told us, was thinking about when you were pregnant, when she was pregnant with us, that we hear that, even as a baby in the womb, like we take this in. So all of her thoughts, all of her ideas, all of her fears, we're taking it all in then, even, so, and I was saying, about our core beliefs, our core wounds, and quite often, the beliefs that we have around ourselves are our mothers or our fathers or our grandmothers, and it goes back, we're just repeating what we've been told. And so with awareness and love, we can shine a light on that, and illuminate why we believe certain ways about certain things. And yeah, we may find ourselves reflecting about, how we became the way we are around our childhood, around our entrance into this world. In the Northern Hemisphere where we are now, we're in winter, so we are in the womb. We are in that wintry, reflective, hopefully more rested, still place. Yeah, so this T-square could be quite interesting, I feel like Pallas being here as well, it's like she's really amplifying the intention of coming into a place of wisdom. I feel like her being with the full moon is like a really strong lunar energy. You know, she's a goddess energy. She's very tapped into her psychic abilities and vision and able to see, you know, into these forgotten worlds and mysterious parts of our psyche, you know. So yeah, that's just one part. I wanted to talk as well about Juno and Jupiter together. So in the mythology, Juno, this is an asteroid, she is the wife of Jupiter. And so these two are together. They will be for a little while now. And Neptune is right there as well. You know, so what could that be bringing? You know, and I feel like because the relationship between Juno and Jupiter wasn't always that harmonious. You know, Juno is connected to commitment and marriage and fertility and childbirth, you know, so, but, you know, Jupiter was perhaps quite indulgent in his lovers as well. So Juno also has a reputation for being quite jealous and yeah, so these two coming together, it's interesting, you know, it's like you could see it as like a union energy, commitment, marriage, fertility, children, you know, the positive aspects of it. But then on the negative, you know, there could be opportunities to reflect on, you know, aspects of us that may be illuminated by this coming together here. And I said around the new moon, you know, we have lessons from Jupiter this cycle around Ceres. So Ceres is opposite over in Virgo. So there's like, you know, expansion versus care, you know, and nurturing over in Virgo, and health, you know, versus yeah, going out there and exploring and growing. That's a very Jupiter kind of way, you know. So I mentioned that at the new moon that could be coming up this cycle as well. So definitely feeling the Jupiter energy very strongly. And you can see it's all in trine actually, look, to the full moon. So that could be bringing, you know, it feels like because the Jupiter and Neptune energy very psychic, you know, so we may be feeling really expanding into those dreams, really exploring and growing into those dreams. But let's not forget to take care of ourselves, you know, and this is an inner journey. Let's not forget that we are in winter here in the north. And yeah, so as much as we are exploring and expanding our consciousness, our awareness, you know, doing this inner work, you know, remembering to nurture ourselves, give ourselves what we need for our health, you know, taking care of making sure we get all the right water and food and nourishment. That's very Ceres and Virgo, you know, she's wanting to take care of our health. Definitely. Yes, and also Venus is in T squared to the node now, I noticed. Yay! So what I said, you know, the T squares bring challenges and lessons. So lessons of love, lessons regarding what we value. And in Capricorn, she is, you know, it's about our structures, the father, you know, and our values around how we support and are responsible for ourselves. So our values around that, you know, so she's T squaring the nodes, the North Node in Aries, still conjunct Uranus, and the South Node in Libra will be moving into Virgo soon. So yeah, it feels like a real lesson around our heart and our values from Venus. And, you know, encouraging us, you know, to move beyond the past and the limiting ways that we may have relied on others to support us, you know, and how in our relationships we may have been more codependent and or relying on someone else to make decisions for us and be responsible for us. The North Node and Uranus want us to break free and to make our own decisions and to be sovereign and to be leaders, you know. And so Venus being that that point on the T-square that's like encouraging that change. It's the change that's actually really in our foundation, in our stability that we may have or may have not received from our father, you know. So this is what I really feel the Capricorn energy is connected to the patriarchy, the father figure, structures, systems, the way that we are held in containers, you know, like home, house, buildings. So yeah, Venus here is kind of bringing that all into our awareness as well, to help us move towards, you know, this North Node in Aries, to help us become more liberated, you know, from these structures and systems. Because we know that Saturn has been squaring the nodes and now that's kind of finished. And it's like, aha, so something's changing. Something's changing. And Pluto will be moving into Capricorn in March. So something really is changing around Capricorn. So, you know, our next new moon will be coming up in Capricorn. And then, you know, soon Pluto will be moving into Capricorn. So there's a lot of that, because once Pluto finishes his time in Sagittarius, you know, we will hopefully have a more solid idea around our beliefs and what is true to us, because he's been really digging up all of that around spirituality and religion. So yeah, and our connection to the cosmos, you know. So yeah, when he moves into Capricorn, it really is going to bring great change into the patriarchal systems and structures, you know. So that's going to be very interesting, and I think we'll all feel that no matter what, you know. But yeah, so I can really feel like a big shift coming in March as well. So it feels like this journey on the lead up to that, you know, it's like we're in the winter, we're in the womb, we're in this place of reflection, of inner growth, to come into a place of integrity and wisdom. Thank you, Athena. You know, and it's a good place, you know, for us to be working on ourselves at this time. And I say working, but gently, you know, let's not forget to take care and to nurture ourselves as well as doing the inner work. So let's not be hard on ourselves, you know. Saturn in Capricorn can be quite hard and strict and rigid, you know, so it feels like we could really try and soften to those hard edges. Could be a really great time to, with the Jupiter and Neptune energy, to explore, like, and the Sagittarius energy, to explore different spiritual practices or ways of connecting to our soul. So that would be unique to everyone, obviously, but that's just what I feel around this time. I'm definitely exploring new things as well. So just before I jump over to the last quarter, I'm just going to talk about, there's this lovely trine with Venus, Mars, and Ceres. So this trine feels really supportive because Mars is right at the end of his retrograde. He's going to be moving forward in the next week, I think. So And he's right at the end of his tether. He's like, oh, I just can't go backwards anymore. I need to move forwards. I've got things to do. You can feel his frustration, right? It's like, oh, I can feel I've got so much to do and I just got to get moving. And so, next week he's going to get moving forwards again. So, but he's been really deeply transformed by this energy of Taurus, really pulling him back to his roots, pulling him back to what he really values and what's important to him. And in trine to Venus, it feels like, wow, no, this is a good structure. This is an earth trine, Venus in Capricorn, Ceres in Virgo, Mars in Taurus, so this grand earth trine, it feels like it's so supportive for Mars, because it's like actually he can see a structure, Venus in Capricorn, a structure forming that is in alignment with his creativity, his heart, and his values. And that is, nurturing for him, supportive for him, and helping him, his well-being. And, so he's at the end of his retrograde, and it's like there's this, oh my goodness, it might be like for the masculine in us, that inner masculine that's just wanting to get going. He may be feeling now like this real like change, and a change in his being, like of like really aligning to his values in his heart, and seeing a structure forming around what he's going to do next with all of that, so coming into the the spring equinox that's coming, you may find that the masculine in your life, or your own inner masculine, is like so charged up with vision and ideas, and but really got like physical momentum coming behind it, to actually start building those temples, to start creating those dreams, and to really the part with this trine, it feels like it's so like he could be getting revelations around what needs to shift so that he can move forward. He's been going backwards into the mud. I love that image that I get of like this bull just really stuck in the mud and grunting and being like but he's getting through it now. Venus is helping him and Ceres is helping him, so it feels really supportive. So yeah, that's all from that chart. I'm going to move to the last quarter in Virgo. So let's draw on it. I won't be on here much longer because I'm going to get in the bath. So yeah, the last quarter in Virgo is over here. Right at the end of Virgo, actually, which is quite nice. So you can see, where's Mars? So he's not retrograde anymore. He's going forward. Yay. Well done, Mars. You did it. He's making a trine to the moon and Pluto and the sun in Sag. So this is nice. It feels like, yeah, like I just shared, he's bursting out. He's like charging out of the mud. Yes, I've got an idea. I've got a vision. I'm going to do stuff. Watch that. Watch that around you and see an inside of ourselves. Yeah. It's just amazing to witness it in others and myself, when I can really see these aspects in the chart and then watch them playing out. It's fascinating for me, you can imagine, as an astrologer. Yes, anyway, rambling a bit. The last quarter moon will be in Virgo, as I said, and the sun will be conjunct Pluto. So the last quarter moon is a time of reflection. It's a time of gathering in the whole cycle, bringing it all back to ourselves. What have we learned? What was good? What was not? What do I want to take into the next cycle? What do I need to get rid of? So the energy of Virgo at this time can be really, really great because that's what she does anyway. She's the harvest mother, so she's harvesting anyway. So this last quarter moon in the sign of Virgo, who's harvesting, it's a great time for harvesting. What are we learning now? What has this cycle illuminated for us? You know, what have we learned from Sagittarius and Pisces and Gemini and Virgo? You know, what are these four allies been teaching us this cycle? You know, so yeah, that's what I love to do on the last quarter time. It's also a great time to get out there and start cutting things back and clearing space in the garden. If you're into the garden, I'm starting to dream of what I'm going to plant in the spring already and getting my seeds out and looking at what I've got. And yeah, like I love gardening. So my South Node is in Virgo, so I'm very green fingered. Yeah, so that's the last quarter. I'm not going to go too much more deeply into the chart, but Venus will be coming next to Saturn. I don't know the exact date. It might be around the time of the new moon. Let's just have a look. Oh, yes, here we go. Haha. Love it when that intuition is correct. New moon in Capricorn, 21st of January. Oh, Sun, Moon, and Pluto. Hello. Venus and Saturn, hello. Jupiter, Chiron, Juno, hello. There's lots going on, but that'll be for next month. So I'll do another video on that, but just giving you a sneak peek. Yeah, so I think that's all for now. And I'll stop sharing the screen. Yeah. So yeah, really tuning into our minds. The left hemisphere, the right hemisphere, that twin aspect there, you know, the twin aspect of our shadow self, our shadow and our light, the twin aspect of our body, our physical body and our soul, the twin aspect of the baby and the placenta. So yeah, this is things that we could be exploring around this Gemini full moon, and of course what is coming up around our communication and our voice, our networking, our ideas, maybe some blocks that we have around that as well. So yeah, I feel that's all the themes around this full moon. So yeah, sending you all so much love. I'm going to go and get in my bath now. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you in a few weeks. Lots of love. Mwah! Ciao, ciao.